and welcome again to another one of the Medal Department podcasts, this time for our July auction, taking place on the 24th and 25th of the month. And I think I'll kick off, as always, with some fantastic flying medals, surrounded by some fun things from the auction here. The group I've got here is that of Wing Commander Rodley. As you'll see here, it's a DSO, DFC and Bar AFC group, one of just 7 men for the Royal Air Force to earn that combination during the last war. So an exceptionally rare combination of awards. All 3 of the gallantry awards themselves are immediate awards, which is rather striking. Rodley was a keen pathfinder and also a experienced low-level raid bomber. He famously flew on the Augsburg raid, earning the bar to his DFC, in which Squadron Leader Nettleston famously won the Victoria Cross, and also he flew on Operation Bellicose, an attack on old Zeppelin sheds in June 1943. So an absolutely fantastic combination. As always, it's sold by order of the family, and as such we've got a fantastic archive which goes with it. The logbooks, as you'd expect, but together with that, some really charming photographs, which a few of I've got just here, and some fun ephemera from his office. And so it's just, again, a charming group of awards. He was lead pathfinder on a number of his bombing raids and visited the big city 7 times, I believe. Just a stunning combination of awards. He's got the air efficiency on the end there, so you've got the named medal to go with the rest of his awards. Rodley, once he'd finished with the RAF, he went into commercial flying, and he was one of the pioneering airmen for jet pilots. So he was with BOAC, and he was actually flying often with Cat's Eyes Cunningham, whose medals actually appeared here in the RAF Centenary exhibition, which so many of you will have joined us for. So a good friend of Cunningham, but one thing which Cunningham wasn't involved in was this rather interesting interlude which Rodley took part in 1956, for which I've got the menu for here. I don't think Spink has seen anything like this for a good while, and the Medal Department certainly haven't. Rodley was the pilot for what became known as reputedly the most stoned flight in history in February 1956, when the Beatles, together with the stars of the film Help, flew via New York to the Bahamas. Rodley was the pilot on that day. Having left London Airport, there were thousands of fans on the day. What we've got here is Rodley's personal lunch menu, and on the back you've got the signatures of all 4 members of the Beatles, original autographed, solid provenance, together with Eleanor Bron and Roy Kinnear, stars in the movie. And so, again, it's just a fantastic original piece of Beatles memorabilia, and very important that we've got the solid provenance all the way through. So 2 separate lots. The medals go first, and they carry an estimate of £8,000 to £12,000, and they're followed by the autograph menu, which has an estimate of £5,000 to £6,000. So please have a look at the catalogue, some fun photographs in there, and let's see what they do on the day. So we finished with the RAF, and I think I'll move on to these 3 cracking but very different group of awards I've got here, in the 2 single campaign medals and one which I'll come on to later. As always, we start with the Naval General Service Medal, and here I've got the 2 clasp award to Captain Baker, and his class for Ons-le-Bark, December 1809, and Guadeloupe. Baker is an interesting character because he was first entered onto a ship's book for HMS Bristol at the tender age of just 10. So very similar to the infamous Provost Wallace, and it's quite fitting because the pair of them actually earned their first class to their Naval General Service medals in the action in December 1809. Baker then was was officially commissioned, and he saw some very interesting action off America, present for the blockade of Boston, and also for the chase and the eventual capture of the American ship President. So a very important Naval General Service Medal there, a two-clasper. That's just one of a fine run of Naval General Service Medals we've got. Lots of officers, lots of multi-class awards. Again, a good host of them are unique combinations. So do give that catalogue section a read. It's a very fine array of Naval General Services, and with what they've been doing recently, we expect them to be well received. Baker's Medal carries a pre-sale estimate of £6,000 to £8,000. So we go from the Navy, an early Victorian award, to another early award, this time the Army of India Medal. Again, this one is a three-class award, and it's unique this time. This is the three-class medal to Lieutenant Colonel John Pester, the 2nd Bengal Native Infantry, and his clasps here for capture of Deeg, the Battle of Delhi, and for Aligarh. Pester is regarded and well known in this campaign during the Second Matterhorn War. He was quickly came to knowledge of General Lake because of his talents. He's a very talented young man, and he was very quickly assigned important duties during that whole campaign. He wasn't just a staff man, though. At the Battle of Delhi, he was at the head of his regiment and actually had his horse shot from underneath him. So he's a great character. And the important thing in the Army of India medal, the series of medals, which makes this medal stand out as far as we're concerned, Pester later published the book War and Sport in India, 1802 to 06. This account gives a vivid vision of that time in India, with the British captures of different parts of India. And his account is actually widely referred to both in the medallic world and general history reference works for that period. So again, a very important medal, and one which has been devoted a large space in the catalogue too, quite rightly. And Lieutenant Colonel Pester's medal carries a pre-sale estimate of £10,000 to £12,000. And again, we've got a nice couple of Army of Indias, and then we go on to the MGSs. Again, we've got a couple of 10 claspers, one to an officer in the 40th Regiment. We've got some very nice Waterloo medals. Again, 5 or 8 of those, officers, casualties. The single campaign medals are very strong this time. So do give the catalogue a good read. And again, as you've seen, we've got some fine gallantry. But the lot which precedes the gallantry, I think, is worthy of a special mention this year. It's in the centre of Baker and Pester, and that's the WSPU Hunger Strike Medal, awarded to Lillian Margaret Metger, famously, and I think quite rightly, referred to as one of, if not the most militant Irish suffragette that ever lived. And her award here is the Hunger Strike Medal, dated August 10th, 1914, and mounted on the original riband as well, and with all the original fittings. This medal was acquired in the 1980s by the present vendor, and so it's been off the market for a good long while. I'll give you a short introduction to Lillian and what she did in this, in the struggle for suffrage. And obviously, with it being the 100th anniversary this year, it's a fantastic time to bring this medal to market. Metger was she was the widow and the granddaughter of a local MP, like so many of the suffragettes over in Ireland. She very quickly became quite a forerunner in Northern Ireland. She wrote for the Irish Citizen, and she was reporting a great deal. And she was, one of the suffragists to begin with. But, when the struggle became, they went from suffragists to suffragettes, with the WSPU, she quickly renounced her sort of the gentle campaigning movement and was turned militant. She was famously on the 21st of May 1914 deputation to Buckingham Palace and was arrested with 66 others, including the Pankhurst sisters. And she was arrested. She faced the baton like so many of them did. Returned to Ireland. It was clear that protesting was just the start of things. From the 31st of July, she was with a group of 3 others, Metga, the Lingreader, and they set off a bomb in Lisbon Cathedral at 2 in the morning and successfully detonated, severely damaged a very old stained glass window in the cathedral. She was arrested as the ringleader at home. And this is obviously a very important and turbulent piece of time. Late July, early August 1914, Europe is descending towards war. She's arrested. War is then declared on the 4th of August. The trial goes ahead, and her trial begins on the 8th. Her hunger strike is on the 10th, as shown on her medal. And just a couple of days later, the trial is thrown out, and as the decree of the British government, all suffragettes, whether they're imprisoned or on trial, are released. The late period of her award likely makes this the last award of this medal, and so again, historically important. And please do read the catalogue. It's a fantastic award, and it carries a pre-sale estimate of £8,000 to £10,000. So here you go, just a small array of what we've got on offer. We've got just over 900 lots over 2 days. As always, some interesting foreign awards, and the final part of the Stefan Rath collection of miniature awards, so the last opportunity to acquire something from that. Something else I must mention, which follows the single campaign medals, is we have the honour of presenting part 1 of medals from the collection of the late Terry Sole, author and very well known in the collecting fraternity. We have the honour to present medals for South Africa for the First and Second Wars, and just over 100 lots, some fantastic combinations, a lot of officers. We've got a chap killed in battle at Isan Luana, and some fantastic stories. And again, huge section of the catalogue is devoted to that. And so do give it a read. It'll be, as always, a fun sale, lots of varied awards, pretty well covered, Army, Navy, Air Force. Besides that, we will be having a auction preview and summer drinks party here on Monday the 23rd of July, so do just get in touch if you'd like to attend. Catalogue will be out online shortly and in print too. So as I say, just over 900 lots, and be on the 24th and 25th of July. And I look forward to receiving your bids in all the usual ways, whether that be over the internet, through the post, on the telephone, or even better, in person here at 69 Southampton Row. Thank you very much. Goodbye.